Friedrich Nietzsche understood something that most people will never grasp. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who says nothing. While everyone around you is talking, revealing their insecurities, their desperate need for approval, the silent one is watching, calculating, absorbing every detail. Silence is power. Nietzsche spent his life studying what makes certain people dominate without ever raising their voice. And what he uncovered will change how you see every interaction you have. Today, we unlock 10 Nietzschean principles that will teach you to outsmart anyone without uttering a single word. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. By the end of this, you will understand why silence is not weakness. It is the most devastating weapon you will ever possess. The silent weapon. Most people think power comes from what you say, from loud arguments, clever comebacks, and dominating conversations. But Nietzsche saw through this illusion entirely. Talking much about oneself can also be a means to conceal oneself. Think about that for a moment. Every time someone talks excessively, they are building a wall, not of strength but of fear. They are terrified of what the silence might reveal about them. Silence strips away every mask a person wears. When you stop filling every gap with words, something remarkable happens. People begin projecting their own thoughts onto you. They assume you know more than you do. They credit you with wisdom you have not even spoken. This is not manipulation. This is psychology. Nietzsche recognized that the loudest person in any room is almost always the weakest. Noise equals weakness. The truly powerful ones let others exhaust themselves. They watch, they wait, and when they finally speak, every word lands like thunder. But this principle only works if you understand something deeper about human nature. Herd mentality. Nietzsche had a term for the majority of people. He called them the herd. And the herd has one defining characteristic. It cannot tolerate silence. Watch any social gathering. The moment there is a pause in conversation, people scramble to fill it. They will say absolutely anything, even something meaningless, just to avoid that uncomfortable void. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. This is because the herd finds its identity through constant verbal validation. They need others to agree with them. They need to hear their own voice to feel they exist. The herd speaks to survive, but the individual is silent to thrive. When you step outside this pattern, when you become comfortable with silence, you immediately separate yourself from the majority. People sense it. They feel unsettled because you are not playing by the rules they understand. If Nietzsche's wisdom is opening your eyes right now, hit like and subscribe to unlock more treasures from the vault. Because what comes next will change how you read every person you meet. The observer. Nietzsche was not just a philosopher. He was one of the most ruthless observers of human behavior who ever lived, and he taught us something critical. Watch before you speak. When you are silent, your mind becomes a weapon of perception. You notice things that talkers completely miss. The micro-expression of discomfort when someone lies, the nervous gesture that betrays insecurity, the subtle shift in tone that reveals true intentions. Most people broadcast their entire psychology without realizing it. Nietzsche wrote extensively about how humans betray themselves constantly through involuntary signals. Their body language, their eye movements, the rhythm of their breathing. All of this becomes visible when you stop talking and start observing. There are no facts, only interpretations. But here is the key: you cannot observe and speak simultaneously. The moment you open your mouth, you shift from receiving information to giving it away. In any interaction, the one with the most information holds the most power. This leads us to something Nietzsche considered absolutely essential: will to restrain. Everyone knows Nietzsche's concept of the will to power, but most people completely misunderstand it. Control. The will to power is not about dominating others through force or aggression. For Nietzsche, the highest expression of power was self-mastery, the ability to restrain your own impulses. True power is the ability to remain still when everything screams at you to react. Think about the last time someone provoked you. Your instinct was to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. But what would have happened if you had simply said nothing? That pause, that deliberate choice to not react, would have communicated something far more powerful than any words could. It would have said, I am above this. I am beyond your ability to disturb me. Nietzsche believed that anyone who can master their own reactions has already conquered the most difficult enemy, themselves. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. And once you command yourself, commanding situations becomes effortless. But there is a darker application of this principle. Reading weakness. Here is something uncomfortable that Nietzsche understood perfectly. Silence does not just reveal your strength, it exposes everyone else's weakness. When you remain quiet in a conversation, the other person feels an invisible pressure to fill the void, and in that pressure they reveal everything: their insecurities, their true motivations, their hidden fears. Silence exposes truth. Nietzsche observed that people cannot help but betray themselves when faced with someone who refuses to participate in the social performance. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. In negotiations, interrogations, and everyday conversations, trained professionals use this exact principle. They ask a question and then go completely silent. The discomfort becomes unbearable, and the other person talks and talks until they have given away far more than they intended. Whoever speaks first in a silence loses the invisible negotiation. You do not need to be aggressive. You do not need clever tricks. You just need to be comfortable where others are not. Speaking of comfort, there is another Nietzschean principle that takes this even further. Beyond reaction. Nietzsche's most famous concept is the Übermensch, the one who has transcended ordinary human limitations. Übermensch. And one of the defining traits of this higher being is the absolute refusal to be controlled by emotional reactions. Most people are puppets. Someone says something offensive and they react. Someone criticizes them and they crumble. Their emotions are strings and anyone can pull them. The Übermensch cuts those strings entirely, not by suppressing emotions, but by choosing which emotions deserve a response. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster. When someone tries to provoke you and gets nothing back, it terrifies them, because they have lost their power over you. No reaction, no control. They expected anger, they expected defensiveness. Instead, they got calm silence, and that silence communicates something devastating. You are not worth my energy. The ultimate power move is showing that nothing can disturb your peace. But mastering your reactions is only half the equation. Nietzsche understood something about the faces we show the world. Wearing masks. Nietzsche wrote something that most people find deeply unsettling. Every profound spirit needs a mask. He was not advocating for dishonesty. He was revealing a truth about human nature that most refuse to accept. We all wear masks, every single one of us. The difference is that most people wear their masks unconsciously. They play roles without knowing it, shifting between the good employee, the tough guy, the caring friend. The wise person chooses their mask instead of letting society choose it for them. When you master the art of deliberate silence, you choose your own mask. You decide what others see and what remains hidden. Choose your mask. This is not deception, this is strategy. In a world where everyone is performing, the person who controls their own performance holds all the cards. The mask of silence is the most impenetrable of all. Because while others are busy constructing elaborate verbal personas, yours requires nothing. Just presence, just stillness. And that brings us to perhaps the most unsettling power of silence. Fear of silence. There is a psychological phenomenon that Nietzsche understood intuitively, centuries before modern science confirmed it. Silence triggers fear. Fear. When you remain silent, the other person's mind begins filling that void with their own anxieties. They start wondering what you are thinking. Are you judging them? Do you disagree? Are you seeing through their facade? 1. Silence activates the amygdala, our fear center. 2. The brain interprets absence of response as threat. 3. People project their deepest insecurities into the void. This is why silence is so devastatingly effective. You are not doing anything aggressive. You are simply creating a space where the other person's own mind becomes their enemy. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. Your silence becomes an abyss for others. They gaze into it and see their own shadows reflected back. Your silence, their abyss. The beauty of this is that you carry no weapon, no aggression. The other person creates their own discomfort entirely on their own, but silence becomes truly unstoppable when combined with one more Nietzschean concept. Amor Fati, shield. Nietzsche gave us one of the most powerful concepts in all of philosophy. Amor Fati, the love of fate. Love your fate, even the suffering, especially the suffering. When you truly embrace Amor Fati, something extraordinary happens. You become psychologically untouchable. Think about what makes most people vulnerable in any confrontation. It is their attachment to outcomes. They need the other person to agree with them, to respect them, to validate them. When you need nothing from anyone, your silence becomes absolute power. Amor fati means you have accepted everything, including the possibility of being rejected, misunderstood, or even hated. And when someone faces a person who genuinely does not care about the outcome, they have no leverage whatsoever. My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati. Every insult bounces off, every provocation dissolves, every attempt at manipulation fails, because you have already accepted everything that could possibly happen. Accept everything, fear nothing. This is not indifference, this is transcendence, and it leads us to the ultimate lesson Nietzsche left for us. The final mastery. Everything we have discussed, the observation, the restraint, the masks, the detachment, all of it leads to one final truth that Nietzsche considered the pinnacle of human achievement. Self-mastery. The ability to outsmart anyone without saying a word is not actually about outsmarting others at all. It is about mastering yourself. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. Because when you have conquered your need to react, your need to be validated, your need to fill every silence with noise, you have achieved something that 99% of people never will. You have become the person who controls the room by simply being in it. Nietzsche did not teach us to manipulate, he taught us to evolve, to shed the desperate need for external validation and find power in our own stillness. Master yourself, master everything. The world rewards those who speak wisely, but it bows to those who know when not to speak at all. Nietzsche showed us that the greatest battles are won without a single word being spoken. Your silence is your sword and your shield and your throne. Every principle we explored today, from reading the room to mastering your reactions, from wearing deliberate masks to embracing your fate, all of it points to one undeniable truth. The person who controls themselves controls every room they walk into. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? Starting today, practice this. In your next conversation, say less, observe more, let the silence do the work. You will be amazed at what happens. If you made it this far, comment silent power if Nietzsche's philosophy on silence changed how you see every conversation. Silent power unleashed. The wisdom of the ages is yours. Use it well. If this unlocked something in you, subscribe for more. The vault has more to reveal.